Hello, pool fans. Welcome to Accu-Stats Video Productions. We're here at the U.S. Open, and my name is Nick Varner, and I'm here with my special guest, Jay Helfert, and we're getting ready to have a match between Mika Immonen and Jim Rempe, and this is a loser's bracket match, and they're playing for who moves from 5th and 6th into 4th place.
It's going to be a good match, Nick.
Yeah, it should be a great match. Both guys have been playing really great pool this tournament.
You know, it's kind of a classic matchup. It's the older generation, of which we're part, and Jimmy represents that, and this new group of 20-somethings, and Mika is certainly one of the best of the young players. Mika's 25 and Jimmy's 51 years old. Little contrast in style as well as a contrast in generations.
Yeah, there is a little bit of contrast in styles.
Mika has really emerged, in my point of view, in just the last year or two into becoming an outstanding player. He was always a good player. He's been a good player for a good 5 or 6 years now, but the last couple of years, he's, I'd say he's a top 20 player, certainly. Unfortunately, he's not able to play the full tour over here. He's only played 2 events in the Camel Tour so far, although he just told me he's going to play the rest of the Camel Tour, the next 4 events.
Well, now Jimmy cut the first rack, and he made that corner ball to 3, and he's got a long shot to start with on the 1 and the 2-4, are kind of the 2 balls tied up on the right side of the screen along with the 8 ball. And the 9's right in the middle. What do you like here, Jay?
Well, I'm not sure if he's looking to see if the 2 will pass the 4 and go into the side pocket. It's hard for us to see up here what he can do. I don't think the 2 will go by the 9. He's looking to see if the 2 will go by the 9 into the lower left corner as well. This is a tough shot. I mean, he's shooting off the end rail. This is a hard shot just to make the 1, let alone play position on the 2. It's a blood test right away.
Well, if he jacks up to draw it, I would think that if he jacks up very high, I would think the 2 must go.
That's what he's looking at.
Otherwise, it looked like you got to float down here 2 rails around those balls and play the 2 on the side.
This guy is so solid. It's interesting. He kind of killed that ball. If he'd have made it, he'd have been in trouble.
Well, he wouldn't have quite been there if he made it, but he still might have been snookered.
Well, Mika is faced with a bank shot on the 1, or of course the option of playing a safety.
I kind of like the safe here and maybe get it behind that 2-4-8 and get the cue ball behind the 7.
That's what he's chosen to do.
Well, I think he was trying to do something like that, but I think he missed, Jay.
He didn't get the 1 across the table far enough.
I think he's left Jimmy a shot on the 1 in the corner, but it's still tricky for position. Would you try to go into the 9 or maybe just try to go into the 2-4 here?
Looks like he's drawing back towards those balls, towards the 2-4.
Or can he bounce off and hold it with low?
Yeah, he broke him up by using the 9. He may have a keyhole between the 9 and the 4 to hit the 2. I doubt that he can make the 2 on the side. He might be able to cross side the 2 ball. Again, it's hard for us to tell from up here in the booth. We have to really watch what the player's doing and see what he's looking at.
I think he might have a shot on the 2. This angle's really tough for us here.
Yeah. He could see enough of the 2 to shoot it in.
Nicely done. That was a nice shot there.
He'll shoot the 4, roll forward off the side rail, come out towards the middle of the table a little bit for the 5 ball.
Well, I always like to be in Jimmy's position in a match. I like to win that first game because you never know how many you're going to be able to win behind it before you let your opponent get on the scoreboard. We just saw the last match, and it had big swings. Kiamco started out and won the first 7, then here came Bustamante back strong.
He ran 4 racks to get within 7-5.
Yeah.
Ends up tying up the match. And he lost on the hill. This Kiamco is, again, it's the younger generation. He's 28 years old. He's the heir apparent to the Filipino throne, I think. He's playing on the next table. Jimmy just has to, he's got a little tight position for the 8-ball here. Yeah, he's fine. I think he'll shoot the 9 on the side.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he'll just pinch us, kind of draw this off that side rail. He can go forward, I guess, but yeah.
He's going to take the first game.
Okay, we got Jimmy Rempe pulling into the lead 1-0 over Mika Immonen, and he gets on the scoreboard first.
You know, Nick, I was talking with Scott Smith earlier how much I admire Jimmy, players like you and Buddy. You've been great players, all of you, for over 20 years. Jimmy's been a solid top player for 25 years now, and he is the consummate professional. You know when he plays, he's always given his best in every match. Now, something interesting, he's breaking from the right side. In the last match, Kiamco and Bustamante broke from the left side of the box very effectively. I wonder how this break's going to work here.
Well, Bustamante did move over to the right a little while, but he started cutting the 1-2. But Jimmy seems have that corner ball where it's just going like it's a dead one, Jay.
Yeah, he's going to have to push out, though. He's hooked on the 2.
If he starts getting possession, it could be a long afternoon for Mika. That corner pocket is like a dream come through when you start making that corner ball, because usually I think he's really been playing a little bit unfortunate here that he hadn't had a very good opening opportunity. Now he's looking to push. He's looking toward the corner pocket, someplace around that corner pocket.
Shoot right into the 4-ball, you think?
He may be going to cross the 4 a little bit and leave it a hair off the rail, because and that looks like a pretty good push to me. It looks like Mika won't have anything easy to do from there. Now he's looking over more about moving to 3 and freezing him on the rail, but I don't like putting Mika there. I don't like, that's too good opportunity to make the 1 and get a pretty decent shot maybe on the 2. I kind of like putting him over here where you figure to get back to the table.
Right.
Maybe on the push out, but.
That's an awful tough shot from there. There's a
fair chance he may get this back, maybe.
You think there's any possibility he might? I just don't see anything he could do with the 9 here. Even though the 1 and 9 are close together, and they actually are aimed towards the lower left corner pocket, from that angle it's just about impossible.
This might be a good case to cross the 1. You'll probably have to bring it up on a line toward the 2-ball and try to get him with that 9. But it might be too thin. He's passing. There's several options here. What do you like?
Well, I think the safety is obviously the best option. And the only problem with crossing the 1 here is you're sending the cue ball towards that lower left corner pocket. You might even hit into the 9.
So yeah, it might not be laying on. And if it is, he might be forced just to knock it over on the left rail.
So you can't do much with the cue ball. The cue ball's right on the rail. He's got to roll the ball.
He might be forced just to roll it over here and try to snooker him with the 9 or just leave him a bank. One thing in his favor, he tied up that 4-6. But the 3 so close there that whoever gets to the 3 is in a good position.
Yeah, he ran into the 9.
He was trying to get it inside the 2, and he bumped the 2 out of the way.
The 1 will go past the 2. It's not a full pocket. Just by the way Mika looked at it, he's probably got about 2/3 of that corner pocket, and they're pretty tight pockets anyway. But he can make the 1 and just hold the cue ball for the 2. But again, there's going to run into a problem with a 4-6 on the end rail there. He's shooting right at the 1.
Oh, he let it get away a little, but I think he's okay.
Yeah, he's all right.
Nice,
he had a little more angle than I thought.
I think he got a little more than he wants, because he may end up a little thinner and a little further away from the 3 than he would like. Because a good way to deal with that 4 and 6 is following that angle where you could go off the rail and just move the 6 out of the way and let the cue ball come just a little to the left.
Well, he got a perfect angle on the 3. He can do almost anything he wants here. That's what he did.
Yeah, he hit it nice.
Yeah, he did. Did you happen to see that match Mika played with Johnny Archer last night?
No, I didn't.
Nick, it was one of the most beautiful matches of the tournament. He just played almost a perfect match. He beat Archer 11-5. Yeah, Mika's playing the best pool of his life right now. I don't expect to see him make too many mistakes or miss too many balls in this match. Maybe 1 or 2. That'll probably be it. So Jimmy's going to have to play a real good match. We're going to tie match here, 1 game apiece.
Yeah, we got the score tied. Mika tied it up with Jimmy Rempe, 1-1.
I got a feeling this match will go a little faster than the other one. That Takahashi's a pretty slow player. You notice it seems like all the Japanese players, maybe beginning with Okamura, are all pretty slow players. They're very methodical. It's almost like they're playing straight pool.
Yeah, they're pretty deliberate. Well, I'm sure that Okamura's had a big influence on that.
Well, they're discussing the rack.
The placement of the 1, I guess.
Yeah, it's how high up it is. I think they agreed, this is where it's going to be for you, put it there for me too. Usually to rack those balls, you got to be a little bit high on the spot to get a good frozen rack.
Well, I played on this table last night, and I was playing Danny Medina. We put the 1 right in the middle.
Yeah.
Right, and that's, I think, the first match I played in years where the 1 was in the center of the spot.
Yeah. The balls seem to be racking pretty good on this table. Actually, the table behind has had a little bit of a problem.
Now, he went with that head on.
Right.
His breaking strategy is much different, and he comes up dry, Jay. He's going to have to make an adjustment there.
I don't know if you watched that last match between Kiamco and Bustamante. They were both breaking from the left high on the box and making balls almost every break.
But at the end of the match, they both started cutting the 1 and going with the softer break. They didn't finish with that hard break.
Well, they were shooting from the left side of the box. And they were they were hitting way off the left of the 1 too.
Well, after Bustamante almost caught up, he came up dry, and then he switched to the right for a little while.
Did he switch over?
Uh-huh.
Because Kiamco never did. And the first 7 games.
I actually thought that his break was better in that match. More consistent, Kiamco.
Yeah. The first 7 games that he broke, he made a ball on the break every game except the last 1, except on game 7.
And it seemed like he was getting better shots to start with. Bustamante made a couple, 1 extremely good shot on the 2 ball.
Well, there's a good hit. That's a good solid hit by Mika. That was a good solid hit. Getting through those balls and hitting the 1 that good. And
I don't know what kind of path Jimmy's got to this 1. That 4 if he can't get between that 4 and 5.
Boy,
just making contact here. I guess he can get in there, but tell you what, is he jumping over this ball?
Jumping over the edge of the 4. Boy,
that's not bad. What a shot!
Quite a hit.
We've seen a couple of great kicks. Those last 2 kicks, huh, Jay?
Yeah, we did. It's going to take another good kick here. I think that Mika can kick at this ball behind the 5, right where he's at. Problem is he's kicking into an open area. There's really nowhere to duck with the cue ball or the 1 ball here. He's almost got to give up a shot when he hits the 1 here.
I'd try to make the 1 here.
Yeah.
In the side. The safety doesn't look too good to me.
That's what he's shooting at.
In fact, if I was going anywhere, I'd try the cue ball going the other way. I wouldn't want to touch that 3-6. And I think this is a good one to kick pretty hard at.
Yeah, he's going to give it a good stroke.
No, he's going to. Came out okay.
Yeah, he was kicking, trying to knock it down to the end rail, which he did. Jimmy's going to have to play safe. This might be a safe. I'm not sure if he'll go rail first at this ball or shoot straight at it. I think he wants to put the 1 ball down here behind the 3-6-5. He's shooting straight.
He may stop the cue ball and use more of the 4.
Right. Use the 4 ball.
That 3-6-5, it's easy to get out of there, but that 4.
Yeah, he's using all the balls.
See, that 4.
That's
really,
the key ball. That's the key ball.
And he keeps the cue ball on the rail, so even if it does creep out, at least he's got to come off that end rail, which makes it tougher to get on the 2, because it's not like the balls are real open where any place you fly around the table with it, you may hit something getting on the, even if you got a shot on the 1 there.
You know, I love these safety battles in 9-ball, Nick. It's like a chess match right now.
Yeah. Now he's going behind it. He's going to try to knock the 1 ball up table and then use that 3-6-5 to re-hook Jimmy.
Exactly. Well.
And he got it a little too full.
Right. Well, Jimmy's got a nice, easy shot at the 1 ball, and I'm not sure from this angle how he's going to get to the 2, if he's going to go 2 rails or just try to hit it soft. Yeah, he's going 2 rails. He's drawing it.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to spin around the 4, but the critical part is getting position on the 2 and then position on the 3.
The only place I see the 3 might go is up in that same left corner where the 1 goes.
Right.
Well, he did a good job on this. He really did.
But he actually got on the opposite side of the 2 of where he wanted to be. But because I don't know if he can avoid that 7.
Exactly. It's hard for him to come off the rail with the 7 there.
If he can miss the 7, then he can try to come across between the 3 and the 8.
I think he's trying to come across the table and hit the 3-6. No, he went. He used the 7 to come down a little bit, which is very tough to do when you're playing position off a ball.
I think Mika will find himself behind the 5-6 there. The position, you can make the 3 and still not win the game. I don't like shooting at it. Although he's kind of looking at the 4. Maybe it goes in the side, Jay. It must go in the side.
Yeah, he's shooting right at it. He's shooting the 3. This 3 will go in the side. Again, from our angle, we're quite a distance from the table. It's a little bit hard to see.
Yeah, I really thought that 6 was blocking the 3 for the side.
Well, that was the key shot right there from the open rack. Now he's on the 5 ball. He's got the right angle. And he should have no further problems with this rack.
Well, if he's almost straight in but going to the right, he could have a little bit of a problem of where to put the 6. If he can't bounce off far enough to play it in the same pocket, he might have to float forward and play it in the upper right pocket.
Right.
Just depends on which angle he's got. Or he can come across and play it on these other 2 pockets, or that either upper corner.
But see, that's the point I made earlier. Top players like you and Jimmy, if that ball's out in the open, I know wherever you need to do, you're going to do it. You'll get on that ball somewhere. Yeah, it looks like he's coming to your right. He's going to float down and shoot the 6 past the 7 in the side. He's got like a half a pocket, which is all he really needs. Yeah.
Yeah, looks like you're right. Well, it is deceiving because from here and even on the monitor, it doesn't even look like that the 6 ball even goes.
It's only half a pocket, I'm sure.
But it's a big enough pocket for Jimmy Rempe.
From that close. But as you were saying, he had several options there. And I think he could have done any one of them. It's just whichever one he preferred right then.
Yeah, he could have played in either one of the upper 2 corner pockets. Okay, Jimmy Rempe 2, Mika Immonen 1.
How'd you come out in the tournament, Nick? I know you did fairly well.
Well, I lost my first match, so I had a long haul.
Wow, with 198 players.
So I managed to make it back to 25th, which is not all that good, but from where I was sitting in a couple matches, it ended up not being as bad as it could have been.
Who'd you lose your first match to?
I lost to Rasson.
Who's that?
A foreign player, Rasson.
Oh, okay, okay. And then you must have, to get to the top 32, you had to win at least 5 matches.
Yeah, I think 6.
Yeah. And then who knocked you out?
Danny Medina.
Danny Medina. Well, Danny played well this week.
Played good on me. Played real good on me. I played pretty good that match.
What was the score?
11-9.
Yeah, that's a close match.
He made a shot I'll never forget. I played safe and left him at a ball about an inch off the middle diamond with the cue ball straight in lane a little behind the head string, and he tried to cut it in, missed it, went up and down and kissed it in this right pocket. And I was ahead 9-8 at the time, and that tied it up, and then he ran 2 racks now from there, so.
You didn't get back to the table.
Didn't get back
you lucked
to
the ball
table.
in. You didn't get back to the table. Boy, it's a beautiful break here.
I tell you what, I like Jimmy's action on the break, and that's usually a pretty important sign in a match. That corner ball just flying in every time, and now he's starting to get that position, and look the way these are spread.
Yeah. I think it's going to shoot the 2 ball next in the side. He's looking at it. Does he want to shoot it in the end or the side? Yeah, I think he's going to shoot it in the side. It's like a little jigsaw puzzle. And you just figure out how the pieces all fit together. And nobody does it any better than this guy. Except maybe you, Nick.
Well, Jimmy's really been playing great in this tournament.
Again, it astounds me to see how well players like you play after all these years. Is it hard to get motivated to play in a tournament?
Well, you know, you have your ups and downs, I guess, but, you know. But usually the competitive spirit comes out and you just want to win.
Yeah.
Now, he's, you think he's going to spin out of their 2 rails maybe with right English, or does he have to hit a little fuller?
Yeah, he got a little funny angle. I know he'd like to.
He's a little too full here.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to just go 2 rails, like you said, and then shoot the 5 in the lower left corner. Yeah, just like this.
Yeah, he's just trying to come out of there with right English. He fell actually a little full on that, but he made a nice recovery, nice control of the cue ball there to end up with such a good angle. Everybody'd like to shoot the ball like this 5.
Stop right there. He'll just. Oh, he's got a little angle on the 6. I don't know if he needs to go to the end rail or if he can just pinch it back a little bit. Yeah, it looks like he's just going to pinch the ball back. Yeah, you're right. Shoot the 8 up in the corner.
And he'd like to cross that line a little. He looks pretty straight in, but he'd like to be cutting it a little to the left so he could play that 9 in the right.
Well, he really didn't take a moment to look at this, so he must have the angle he wants.
Oh, yeah, he sure did.
You know, usually when a player gets a little bit out of line, they take a few seconds. They walk around a little bit, but no, they just jump up there and shoot.
That's solid out. Jimmy Rempe 3, Mika Immonen 1.
Talking to Tang, you know, I sponsor Tang on the tour now, and I was talking to him about what it takes to be a top pro, and I said, Tang, the top pros, guys like you and Jimmy and Buddy, I said, they got 2 speeds. They either play good or they play great. I said, a top player just doesn't have a bad match. You just won't see it. I think another guy, among the young players, I think another player who has now emerged as a top player, at least in my eyes this year, is this Ralph Soquet. I really like his game now.
He's been playing good this year.
And I think of the Europeans, this young man, Mika, is the next one who's going to emerge as a top player. I mean, look at this tournament here. You got, on the next table, you've got a Filipino, you got a Japanese player. Here's a guy from Finland, an American. This is really an international event. In my eyes, Nick, this is the most prestigious event in professional pool today. Yeah, we've even got a whole Japanese TV crew is here covering Takahashi. They've been following him the whole tournament. The lovely Aya Ishii brought them over here. I understand they're doing a special on Takahashi, and he's having a great tournament.
He sure is. Well, this is definitely the biggest field we played this year. I think 188 players.
198.
Now he missed the corner ball that time. First time in this that he hasn't made a ball on the break.
Well, the 1 ball's in front of the upper right corner, but the 4 is in the way. And this is a hard ball to push out on. Where can you put the cue ball here, Nick? It's almost like you have to try to do something with the 1.
Yeah, you can try to kick the 1 down to the end rail. And one thing nice about it is normally you might end up behind something, but there's not much out there in space. He might have to kick at it and just push it down by the 8.
Right.
Try to leave it where he can't get under the 8 with the 1, because there's not much to put him behind. He can leave him long, but it's going to be pretty tough for him to leave a very difficult shot on a safety for Jimmy to leave him where he's doesn't have a pretty good kick. Or you could roll out for a jump shot. Now he may try to masse around it, but I don't think he'll jump this.
Almost looks like he's trying to make the ball.
Yeah, that's what I figured. He's trying to masse around it and make the ball.
Well, it looks like the 1 could go in the upper left corner pocket. Jimmy could cut it back that way. I'm not so sure that's what he's going to opt to do. He may look at a safety instead.
I like trying to make the 1 here.
He hasn't really looked at it. He's going for a safety here. He's going to send the 1's going to come down table, and he's going to leave the cue ball behind the 4 here. Watch, I think he's going to walk. Maybe. Let's see if he walks around and looks at the 1 ball. See what the angle looks like. No,
doesn't look like he is interested in trying to make it, does it? Must be awful thin.
Yeah, he's going to duck the cue behind the 4 and send the 1 down table.
May draw inside the 7 too on this.
Oh boy, he didn't want to hit the 5 there. He did not want to hit the 5 with the 1 ball. And Mika can see the full 1. He could make the 1 down in the end. down in our lower right by the 2. Actually, if he does make it,
yeah, I think you've got to shoot it to 1. The question is, where do you send the cue ball? I wouldn't want to send it toward the 3 and 5, so you have to spin it a little bit to clear the side. Put some spin on it.
Oh, he's looking
acting like he can't even hit it.
No, I think he was. That's his way of figuring the angle of the cue ball. Right, exactly.
So maybe he is going to come across toward those 2 balls.
Oh, looks like he's drawing away from him. Yeah, went right between them. Whew. That was a little risky.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It worked out perfectly because he knocked a 3 out enough so that now the 3 will go in the corner pocket, the upper left corner pocket.
Yeah,
ended up working perfect.
Good. Sure did.
Oh, he's going to shoot the 3 in the side. Just roll the cue ball forward off the side rail for the 4 in the upper right corner.
Yeah, it caught me a little off guard playing that 3 in the side, huh? I wonder if that 7 goes by the 8. Otherwise, that 8 could be a tough ball.
Right. He hasn't really
looked at it, has he?
Yeah. Now he's looking. Now he's finally looking to see if the 7 clears the 8. Yeah, he's going to have to play real good position on the 7 ball. That's the key ball to get out this rack.
Well, he either plays position for the 2 rail or tries to float down inside the 8 and fall straight in on the 7. Easy to end up without a shot when you do that.
So the key to this rack is shooting the 5 in such a way that he gets the position he wants on the 6. Okay, he's got the angle he wants on the 6.
Evidently, he's going to try to go right through there. He's going to try to go between the 7 and 8. He's looking now. He's kind of acting like he might leave it high, but
cue ball speed is everything on this shot.
Well, and angle is pretty important too. Coming off the hit on this 6 has to be pretty good.
Well, he came out perfect here. Well, he's going to have.
Actually, he did fall pretty good. He can.
He's going to have to kill the cue ball.
He may go up and down there. No, you were right. He elected to kill it. Now, which way you go here?
I think he's going to use a little low left English and come down table and shoot the 9 in the lower right pocket.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that.
Oh, well, I was wrong that time. He just hit it center ball. He just hit center ball and came right down here. I don't like this as much because you're going towards that corner pocket, but he did fine.
Plus, you're going on the short side where speed's even more important. But we have Mika winning game 5, and he trails Jimmy Rempe 3-2.
Mika's playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Well, he's obviously playing real good, or he wouldn't be left in the tournament. There can't be anybody left playing bad at this stage.
Yeah.
You just don't make it down this far if you're not running out.
Listen, I saw good players in this tournament that finished down where you did, you know, in 17th through 24th and 13th through 16. There's some real good players in those spots. You know, Nick, once it gets down, in a tournament like this, once you get down to like the last 48 players, they're all good players. You can't sneak through that far. You might get lucky one round or two. Scratched on the break.
Yeah, he tried to cut the 1 there, but he drew it cross corner, 1 rail cross corner, and looking at this rack.
Nothing's tied up. All the balls are spread out. Jimmy's got ball in hand.
But at the same time, it's not automatic.
Well, it's never automatic.
But he's got to have a good angle on the 2. He's got to have a good angle on the 3 and 4, and he has to get on the 5. He's got to stay in good position all the way to till he gets to the 5, and then everything opens up. But they're all kind of where there's a lot of interfering balls there.
Well, I got a lot of confidence in Jimmy here, Nick. He's the kind of player that I think that once he starts out with the right angle on a rack like this, he's a heavy favorite to run out.
Oh, I think he's a favorite to run out.
If there's anything tricky I see here, it's getting from the 3 to the 4. Well, he got pretty straight on the 2.
I tell you what, this is not too good here.
Yeah, I think he wanted to lay the cue ball right on the rail.
Well, he wanted to fall pretty straight on it, but because too thin, you're coming toward all those balls.
Looks like he's shooting forward 2 rails out of the corner.
Yeah, with center. No, he's spinning way, way over.
Wow.
I tell you what, that was a nice touch.
Yeah, he got all the way to the side rail there. Looks like he's going to go down, come up around the 4 and shoot the 4 in the lower left corner. You know, the good players like
it's hard for him to. He has to shoot really soft here to stop in time to slide over when he plays that 4. If he plays it in the corner, and he's trying that, but look how soft he had to hit that. Now he felt perfect. What a nice touch that was. Boy, he is playing pretty solid.
Just use a little low English and throw this 4 ball in the upper left corner. Let the cue ball slide over to the rail underneath the side pocket. Like that. Perfect. Perfect. He's going to have to stretch a little bit for this one, but he's a big guy.
Not too bad, but I think he'll take a little. He'll either draw it between the 6 and 8, and if that angle, and he could go underneath the 8 too, or he can just bounce off the rail. He's got a choice to make.
Yeah.
The further the stretch.
He'd like to kill the ball and shoot the 6 in the upper right, but it looks like from that angle he's going to have to draw up and shoot the 6 in the side. Wasn't his first choice, but
especially with the bridge, drawing it is not going to be his first choice. He'd rather shoot something soft here. He'd rather shoot soft and not have to hit this so hard, especially using this bridge.
Yeah, he's drawing it though.
You're right.
But Jimmy used that bridge awful good.
Yeah.
All the old straight pull players can use the bridge. He got there.
That was a nice shot.
Yeah.
Most of the time when everything's out in space like it is now, there's not much danger. When you get more balls you get gone, the more balls you want out in the middle of the table. It's on the rails sometime where you can get some, anytime a ball's on the rail, a lot of times when you end up on the rail with it, you've got a problem.
Right. He didn't get the perfect angle on this 8 ball. But yeah, he'll spin it using low right into the side pocket there. Come down off the end rail and off the side rail. No, I didn't even use the side rail. Well, he is. Yeah, he's going the side rail. And like the professional he is, he worked his way through that rack without really too much difficulty.
And Jimmy Rempe pulls ahead to a 2-game lead. It's 4-2. Now the last time Jimmy broke Jay, he came up dry. That's when Mika tried that.
That masse. Kind of like a jump masse. On the 1 ball.
Yeah, he tried to curve the 1, go around the 4 and make the 1. So we'll see if Jimmy gets back on track with that corner ball, because I know when I'm playing, I'm always interested in what happens on this break, because when that corner ball starts going sometime, you really get in big trouble.
Well, they're staying with the right, and they're shading the 1 ball to the right. Again, the opposite of what I saw Bustamante and Chiamco do last match. He made a ball. He's got the 1 right out there in the middle of the table. And he certainly has a shot at it, but it's a tough shot. He's got to make the 1 and draw the cue ball back.
Yeah, he'll probably try to slide over between the 5 ball and the side pocket and bounce off the rail. But to do that, he has to elevate.
Yeah, this is a touchy shot here.
Because if he goes below this side, he's really going to end up tough on the 2.
You got to be concerned about the side pocket here. But the way he got down on this so quickly, it would indicate to me that he knows exactly what he wants to do here.
He knows what he wants to do, but this is very hard.
Yeah.
This is a hard shot. This is not easy. It's easy not to make the 1.
Well, now it looks like he's going forward.
Well, he does have a safety where he might nestle him right against the 9 possibly, but by cutting on 1 a little past the side, but looks like to me.
See, if you shoot that 1 in the lower left corner and you draw over to the side, you're drawing right towards that side pocket.
Well, I wouldn't shoot it if I couldn't miss the side pocket on the shorts below it. I definitely wouldn't scratch.
Well, that's
I might
the shot.
miss the ball, but I wouldn't scratch on the side.
He's elevated a little bit. Oh, he banked it. Well, he banked it hard, so if he missed it, the 1 would go back down table. Unfortunately, 1 ran into the 7, and now Mika's got a shot at the 1 on the side. And he's got room between the 6 and the left side rail to go down table and come back up. I think he'll have to short side the 2 ball and shoot the 2 in the upper right corner.
I think his problem is he's a little full on this 1 ball, Jay.
Yeah.
I think he's got a little angle to go down table, but not a great big one. I think he's going to have to really smash this. Not really, I guess.
He had room. He had room to. Boy, he threaded the needle there to pass the 6 and the 4 like he did. I thought for sure he'd go down the other side.
I thought he would play the 2 on the other pocket.
I did too. I did too. Well, now he's just going to roll off the rail, come back out towards the middle of the table, and have the 3 in the corner.
His pattern play has confused me a couple times.
He does play different patterns than the American players. That works pretty good for him. He's got to just roll the 4 ball in the lower right corner. Let the cue ball just drift over to the side rail.
He's got to roll this ball a little. He just wants to have a little bit of angle here.
Which he did. Now in drawing this ball, is a 7 in the way?
He's going to try to draw underneath the 7 and get above the side. If that's what he decides, that's where he was pointing his cue. And that side is not very far from the angle he's trying to go if he tries to stay underneath the 7. That was a nice shot.
Yes, it was. Come back up, shoot the 7 in the side. Just get above the 7 is what he wants, so he can go forward and come back down table for the 9. Well, it looks like he's got enough of an angle to draw back. Yeah, just like that. Nicely done.
Yes, it was. And Mika wins game 7 and pulls within a game of Jimmy Rempe. The score is 4-3. Jimmy's ahead by 1 game, but Mika's got the break.
Nick, you're playing the senior tour this year, aren't you?
I played a couple events. It was a lot of fun.
How'd you do? Did you win?
I finished 2nd, finished in the first one, and 4th in the 2nd.
It's very competitive, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. You gonna come out to the Pepper Mill in January?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I'll see you out there.
Yeah, I've always liked Reno. And my wife really likes it because she gets, usually every time we're in Reno, her parents come over from San Francisco.
Right, Tony's family's all up there.
So Tony loves that tournament.
Yeah.
Any tournament in Reno. Now, he went with a hard break, and he cut the 1 a lot.
Made the 6. He's got a good shot at the 1. It's a big angle, but He can get on the 2 real well.
I think he can even stay above the 2 and play it. He might be able to draw into the rail and back out and play the 2 in the left pocket. The question...
Yeah, I think with that angle, that's what he's going to have to do.
You think he can stay above the 2? Because it's pretty easy if he can.
Yeah, that's what he's playing for. He's drawing it over to the side rail and back. Just like you said. And this rack sets up real good for him.
Yeah, this is the rack you're looking for every time here now. The 8 next to the 9, the 3, the 5. Everything's just, he hardly has to move any distance from one ball to the next.
Right. For a top player to not get out here, he'd have to really stub his toe. And I just don't expect that to happen in this match.
Well, you just don't have to do anything with the cue ball. Hardly. The first shot was really the toughest shot, and it was laying pretty well natural. He had a good break and really got a nice sequence of balls. And I look for him to tie Jimmy up here. I think he felt a little funny here. It's about as funny as he could fall, but it looks like he just jerked back, and they may have to go a couple rails or one rail to get on the 9. But yeah, he just used power.
You know, a player's good when he's ramming balls in like that.
You like one rail, or you like swinging around 2 rails on this?
Just one rail. He's going to just come slide right up for it. That was pretty easy for him.
Okay, Jay, we're right where we started. 4-4. The score is tied.
Let's see. Mika came over here. Tang Ho sent him over here last night. He was undefeated, so that was his first loss. Tang beat him 11-8 and sent him over here. Jimmy, meanwhile, got sent over to loser's bracket by Buddy. He lost to Buddy Hall 11-4. And then he played Ondam, who was playing real good. And Jimmy played a beautiful match with Ondam and beat him 11-7. And then he beat Coltrane the last match 11-9. Actually, Coltrane's both his losses were to Jimmy in this tournament. Jimmy beat him on the winner's side 11-5.
Yes, yeah, he lost to Jimmy both times.
Yeah. There's another good young player. There's a bunch of them. I call them the 20-somethings. There's a good dozen or 15 of them that are all real good players. It's the next generation. They gotta find a way to unseat you guys. Okay.
He came up dry, but this time he's left Jimmy hooked on the 1 ball. So
this is gonna be a little trickier rack here with that 2-3 on the side rail.
Yeah, the push here.
Where are you going to go?
Is well, one thing you can't do is allow him to get you snookered on this plane over here. That with this 2-3-4 that you've got to guard against, and if you go below it, you're really setting it up for that. You could go down here behind the 6 and leave a rail first kick.
Right, come down. I think he's got to come down to this end rail.
But he's going to leave it up a little higher. He went with the snooker.
And he tried to tie it. Well, he didn't tie up the 5-6.
One thing that gives Jimmy a little bit of air on this push out where it doesn't matter too much is the fact that that 2's in a tough position. So even if he even kicks it to 1 and just tries to knock it up on this end of the table, he feels like he won't lose the game.
Yeah, Mika just took a moment and passed on the shot right away. He didn't want to have to deal with this.
I'm thinking maybe you knock the 1 the other way, but at first I was thinking when I push way down here, set up to try to make the 1. See, this way, if he moves the 3,
Yeah, or he could have hit the 2 there too.
Yeah, if the way he went, I'm surprised that he kicked that way because he's got a lot of protection because Mika's going to get out would have to play a tough combination on the 2-3 or a bank on the 2, and that 2's not laying where the bank's going to be easy no matter where you play it.
Boy, he made a nice shot on the 1.
Yes, he did.
The 2 will pass the 3. It's about a half a pocket. But this guy's got those young eyes. He didn't hesitate for a moment. This is not an easy shot. If he's not careful, he can touch the 3 here. He did fine.
Well, he's so close to it. That's what makes it easy. If he had some little more distance, you add another foot or so, that shot gets tougher. More distance there is really big.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about it is even though he had a small hole, he was close to his work. And he didn't have to do anything fancy with the cue ball. That was the key. And he just hit it in like he had the whole pocket.
That's the 8 ball below the 5 on the end rail.
Well, it looks like the key might have fell on a little straight in on this 5, but looked like the key needs a really good angle to come back up for the 8.
I don't know if he's going to draw it. Yeah, just force it up there. Use his stroke.
He may go into the 9 here. In fact, I think he has to go into the 9 and push it down.
Just use the 9 to kill the cue ball right there for the 7. Yeah, exactly.
And he fell real nice. That's really good because now he can just draw straight back.
Right.
For the 8.
Takahashi just missed the 9 ball on the other table.
Yeah, I wonder what the score of that match is over there.
I haven't heard him announce it, and we can't see it from where we are.
Well,
Mika takes the lead.
Yes, he does. He's leading 5-4, and I think it's the first time he's been leading in the match so far.
It is. They're both playing pretty flawless. Every time they've had an open rack, they've run out. But this is what I expect from 2 top players.
Well, one nice thing about this time of tournament, the matches are so great to watch because of the fact that, you know, they're not going to miss very many balls, and if they do miss one, it's going to be a pretty tough shot normally. Although the last match, I was absolutely flabbergasted when Bustamante missed that combination on the 9. I mean, I'd already given him that shot.
That was for the match, wasn't it?
Yeah, cost him the match, you couldn't have got anybody in the room to bet he wouldn't have made that one. Now he's come up dry all of a sudden, two racks in a row.
Well, the 2 passes the 5 for this lower right corner pocket. And the 3 will go in the lower left. That's the 6 right next to the 3.
I can't tell the angle. Yeah, he's got a good angle on the 1. He has to maintain that angle. He would like to be on that left rail for the 3. I think that's one of the keys to running out this rack, but it's not the only key because position from the 3 to the 4 is tough because of the 5 and the fact that you can only be on one side of that 3.
He got real close to his work with the 2, which is actually good, I think.
He's got a problem because now he's going to have to come off kiss off the 6 for position on the 4.
I'm not so sure about that. I think he can force the cue ball over there if he wants to. He's got a little bit of an angle on this 2.
I tell you what, with the 5 sitting, I'm not sure what that's not the best way to play it anyway. It's a little hard to get around that 5 if you get over there.
Yeah, he got over there.
Watch out,
Look
side
out.
pocket.
He's going to stop short.
Now he can come up one rail. He's full enough. He can go between the 5 and the 8 and come up for the 4. He needs to get up a ways because he doesn't want to have to deal with that 7 either.
Yeah, he's just going to roll right up the table past the 8 ball for the 4. Oop. The guy walked right in front of the table and stopped.
Those yellow shorts got him, I guess. Got his attention anyway, didn't he? Well, this is one as far as speed, Jay, where you really have to have an awareness of hitting it hard enough, because short's where you get in trouble.
Right. He doesn't want the 7 to come into play on his position from the 4 to the 5.
It's really hard to go too far on this shot.
You know, he didn't go far enough, did he?
He's okay, but I think he'd like to have been a little further. Because now he either has to draw into the rail and come off and get the right angle, but I would just go forward.
Yeah,
and come back to the somewhere around the center of the table, or even a little right of center.
Yeah, he's going to just avoid the 7 altogether. Just go right down. Yeah.
But once again, we see where he's having to go up and down a lot. The 3, the 4, the 5 and 6 are on the same end, but that 6 is in that position that always makes getting up to the other end of the table difficult. Anytime it's inside that first diamond and right on that rail.
Right. It's real hard to get up table. You either got to go 3 rails or try to draw past the side pocket.
And see, the 8's kind of making him, maybe he don't want to, if he ends up too thin on the 6, that 3 rail shot really gets tough, because right where the 8's at wouldn't be a bad place to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he would love to be where the 8's at with the cue ball on this shot.
I think what he's going to end up trying to do is get very straight on the 6, where you can just draw straight back up the table.
Well, that's definitely an option. It's one that I don't really like, but sometimes you have to take angles that you don't like. Because straight in, or an inch or 2 off straight in's pretty good, but if you're not right there precise,
and then the 8 comes into play.
Well, and then you're drawing toward the 7 itself, not away from it. If he bumps it, oh, see, now that's what I mean. If he bumps it, he's perfect.
Yeah.
And he missed it. That's what he was hoping for. Now, if he can reach it, he's probably all right. Yeah, I think he's okay. He's having a little trouble reaching it, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Where's he going to go with the cue ball here, Nick?
He's going 3 rails, I think.
Okay.
I don't think he can draw this one back.
Mm-mm.
Too much angle.
You know how many times I've seen guys where they got to go 3 rails like this, where they miss the object ball because they're so focused on spinning the cue ball? You got to make sure you cinch this ball, especially stretching out across the table like he is.
I think it's pretty tough to shoot this hard and really cinch it. I think you got to pretty well free stroke this for better or worse. You try to guide this, I think is.
Boy,
well, now that's the way you cinch that stroke, is going 2 rails.
Right.
The 3 railer, there's not much cinch in that one.
Yeah.
But now that you can cinch.
He couldn't have done much better than he did right there.
No,
with that shot.
I'd take that every time.
Yeah, that was a good
I'd take
result.
that every time. I'm not sure I could have reached that shot.
No way. You'd have had to use a bridge. You'd have done it differently. I think you'd have gone 3 rails from there. He got a little bit high on the 8 ball.
Yeah, he really didn't want to have to cross. And he definitely didn't want to go to the short side on this 9.
He rolled about...
and to stay on this side, to go 2 rails, he's got to shoot awful hard, and then he's got to get back. He should be able to get back. I think it's just a question of making the 8 here.
He rammed it in.
Tell you what, he hit it pretty firm, and he got there, but it's not by too much. But meanwhile, Jimmy ties it up. That was a great out. Those balls were laying a little tricky. There was a lot of up and down, and he ties up Mika, and it's 5-5. And he made a nice out there. Even though the balls were apart, they were laying a little tricky. That 6 and that 8. That 8 kind of was in a bad position for Jimmy, but boy, he made a nice shot when he went across 2 rails.
This is not such an easy job playing pool, is it?
Well, they say bullfighting's tougher. At least that's what Rusty Miller said. He said you only get a chance to lose once in that.
Nick, I want to ask you something. You know, all these years you've been playing pool, when you get knocked out of a tournament, do you still like to come around and watch the matches and stuff like that, or would you rather just go on to the next event or go back home?
Well, I'd probably go play, but usually I stay and watch the matches.
You do?
I keep saying that I'm not going to do it, but it seems like I always do. I start watching them, and it's so much fun. That, it's so interesting.
You know, a lot of players, when they get knocked out, they just don't even come around the arena anymore.
Really? Oh, I do that all the time. Well, if I drove, it might be a different story, but I don't know. I usually try to, I don't know, for years I've been at most finals.
Well, all the years I've been around
pool. Not every one, but probably 85% or 90.
You know, it's funny, all the years I've been around pool, I really would prefer to see the final matches, because that's when you see the greatest things, and some of the greatest matches are played right at the end of a tournament. Well, he's kind of halfway hooked with a 5. He's got to do a little half masse to hit the 2 ball.
I tell you what I like here. I like for him to go with that masse and try to send that cue ball right below the side behind that 3-4, and I think he's got a heck of a chance to get there with this. I'll be surprised if he don't try that, Jay. Unless the twist is just too much for him to be able to hit it, the 2 on the right side, our right side.
I think it looks like he's looking at it like he wants to make the 2 in the lower left corner.
Well, he is feeling frisky. If he tries that, that looks real hard.
Oh, you're right.
He needs a rail.
He got his rail.
But boy, I think he got in the window. He better look. Well.
Yeah, I think there's room for Mika to get through there. Whether he can make the ball or not, I don't know.
I couldn't tell from the expression on Jimmy's face.
Yeah, he was.
Could you? He was non-committal.
No, he didn't give up anything.
He didn't act like he got in the window, I tell you that.
I think Mika can shoot this ball. Yeah, even if he's got to hop it a little bit. No. Of course, that's tough when you got a ball against the rail.
He may be trying to hop it and knock it up the table. Yeah.
There you go. You called that one.
Now, making the 2's not so bad, but getting position on the 3 is another problem. I kind of like just playing this with center, maybe just a hair of natural, and go 3 rails and come up and play the 3 in the side. That's what I like, because you kind of cinch making the 2. You don't make it real hard to make the 2, and your odds of making the 2, I think, are real high, and I think you got a fair chance to get a pretty good angle on the 3. Now it looks like to me
he's going inside English.
Inside, but I don't like that on
He wants to come straight back down for the 3. This is not such an easy shot. He's got length, and it is a little bit of a cut.
I don't like it at all, because I think he can hit it with a reverse, make it, and still possibly end up where he can't make. Even if he hits it this way, I don't think unless he shoots awful easy, and there's no way I'm going to roll this loaded with reverse down the table and soft roll this.
This is, it makes it a much more difficult ball to make, I think, with this inside English. Well, now he's going a little bit more towards center ball.
Yeah, well, he has to clear the 6 now.
He did it your way.
I tell you what, I'd be really happy with this after.
Yeah, he got there.
I'd be happy with this.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with this position on the 3 ball on that shot. As far as you had to make the cue ball travel, I mean, he's got to be pretty happy because
he hit it awful good. He'll draw over to the side rail, come back across table for the 4. It's pretty routine.
He just don't want straight, absolutely straight. And he still, if he can pull it up around the side, I'd like to shoot over that open side there. That makes it a pretty easy shot if you can draw right where you can shoot through that opening and hit the whole cue ball. And he might even be able to cheat it and get it off the rail a little bit, but he's not going to.
What's he saying? Oh, he touched the 8 ball. He told Mika he touched the 8 ball, but Mika just left it right where it is. I think the key shot was that 2 ball getting to the 3. Now, he's in real good shape for the rest of this rack.
I agree. I know I'd rather be at the table shooting than watching somebody else shoot with these 4 or 5 balls. Because you don't figure to get out of your chair.
How many times do you think you've played Jimmy in your career?
I don't know, a bunch.
I imagine. You probably played him dozens of times.
Well, I'd say at least 3 dozen or so.
Yeah. I got a feeling it's pretty close between the 2 of you. I've seen you beat him, and I've seen him beat you. And even when I've seen that happen, it's like I knew it could go either way. You know, one day you could beat him, the next day he could beat you. You guys are pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, it looks like what he can do here is just pinch this ball above the side and play the 9 in that right corner. Looks like Jimmy's got a real good angle to do that.
Came a little far here. Came a little far. He's okay. Boy, a couple more inches, he'd have been in a little bit of trouble there. He's got to cut this 9 ball a little bit more than he wanted to. And he's going to use a bridge, too. He should be okay. Well, you would have preferred to stop about 6 inches sooner with that cue ball.
Yeah, he definitely didn't want to have to use a bridge here. This is a testy little shot. He overcut it too.
Ooh.
And that's a rarity. Usually Jimmy's pretty solid with that bridge, but that was not an easy shot.
He didn't dog it, he just missed it.
No, he didn't.
Well, that's, you know, his position was not good. That's the first error we've seen in 8 games. And Mika's on the end rail, but the 9's far enough out that all he's got to do is just roll the ball. I don't think he's got to worry about the cue ball too much. I don't think it's going to go towards that corner pocket. I mean, it'll go a little bit towards it, but I don't think it'll go more towards the side rail.
Well, the only pocket I think that could be in play for the scratch is the side. The left-hand side?
Yeah. I
don't think he can make the ball and hit it thin enough to go 1 in the corner.
Yeah.
Now, if he shot real hard, he can maybe loop it and scratch 2 in the corner, but that's pretty hard.
Oh, he overcut it. He overcut it.
Well, they always look easier from this booth, I guess.
Well, it didn't look easy to me, but I thought he could roll that ball in without too much. He should have made that shot. That was definitely a makeable shot. Even off the end. It was just, what made it tough is he was shooting right off the end rail. So this is actually
just
as
me either.
Yeah. Jimmy's going to make this one, though. I believe that. He got it given right back to him. See, the difference is he's out on the table. He can put a good bridge on the cue ball. And he doesn't have to worry about any pocket here. Just cinch the ball.
Yeah, I could see where Mika might have been worried about a scratch here.
Yeah, yep. It was working on him a little bit.
But if that's the case, I'm surprised he didn't hit it harder. He
You know,
hits that ball a little softer speed, and why did he roll that like that? Wouldn't you hit that just about 50,
I think
a little
you're right.
harder
He was
speed? I think he shot that the wrong speed.
I think he was worried about hitting the ball towards the side pocket, the cue ball going towards the side pocket. He tried to slow roll it. Whereas I think you got to just hit the ball and not worry about the side pocket there. I think the angle was it's going to go between the side and the corner. And he got worried about the scratch and he hit the ball wrong. What I was going to ask you to continue our conversation from a minute ago, Nick, can you remember any memorable final matches you've played with Jimmy?
Well, yeah, when I won that World Straight Putt Championship in 1986 in Philadelphia, we had a really great match.
That was a 200-point match.
In fact, I think we played ourselves 3 times in that tournament somehow.
Yeah.
And I felt like the pivotal shot was the one I made in a match with him when we were both in the 140s, and he left me frozen on the end rail close to the corner pocket, and the ball was out to the side of the rack, and he was, I'll never forget, that's one of those shots that I just felt like I was going to make all the way. You know, I know Siegel, I asked him one time, I said, when you made all those tough shots in tournaments, I said, did you think you was going to make them all? And he said, every one.
Good.
But he's not a bashful guy, so I don't know if that's the way he really felt or not. You know what I mean?
Well, you talk about Siegel.
I really felt I was going to make was playing Jimmy in that tournament. And then I was able to go ahead. It wasn't a final match, but it was next to final.
Was that a 200-point match?
No, that was 150.
Oh, okay. So that was really critical if you were both in the 140s.
Oh, yeah, because I shot at 100 miles an hour to break out the rack. I mean, it was like if I miss it.
It was do or die.
You know, I made it and they were all over the table. And if I missed it, they'd been all over the table. It was history, yeah.
But you could see it real good and you had confidence.
Yeah, just one of those shots that once in a while when you get in pressure situations, you do know you're going to make a certain shot. And that's the reason I remember that one is because I just felt like I was going to make it. It just looked like a hanger.
Well, Jimmy made a ball in the break. He spread the balls again. The key here is just to get from the 1 to the 2. Looks like he wants to draw the ball over to the side and shoot the 2 in the upper right corner past the 3. I think that's one option. The other option is to follow the cue ball, obviously. But
I think I would pound it and try to get it all the way over if I was going to shoot it, and maybe even hit the rail and bounce off. Of course, you can't tell quite the angle from here.
I think he can actually draw this ball like a little kill stop shot where he doesn't even have to go to the side rail. He's just going to slide the cue ball over towards the middle of the table.
Oh, you think he can slide it over? And
he's taking a break. The last guy who walked in front of the table sharked him. He looked up.
That's when he missed that 9, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back in the match. Jimmy took a break. Somebody walked in front of him for the 2nd time, and he decided it was time to take a break. And now we're back to this 1 ball. Getting position on the 2, and this is about like shooting at the 9. If he gets good position on the 2, this game is over.
He's going forward.
Okay, looks like he's going to go forward, and he's going to try to play that 2 in the right-hand upper corner pocket. I thought he would have hit that with outside, but he's pretty close to the 2 here. And this is like shooting a 9 here because the rest of the balls are laying like you dream to get them laying.
It's wide open.
After the 2's in, there's not much left for doubt. Because he can almost stop his ball and position on the 6. He can fall almost any place above it.
Boy, Jimmy's got a nice solid stance. They say if you get down on the ball right and you got a good stance, you can make any ball.
Well, I'd say stance and alignment.
Yeah.
Getting set up for the shot plays a big part in making it.
Actually, for a tall man, which Jimmy is, I think he's got as good a stance as I've ever seen.
Well, it looks like he locks both legs in.
Yeah.
Where he's not going to get any movement in that lower body.
Just stop right there. Probably just, yeah, he's going to stop this one too.
Yeah, he's got to go a little to the right, but he's going to try to minimize it. And Jimmy pockets this 9 ball. He'll pull to a 2-game lead. He fell behind 5-4, and now he's pulled ahead 7-5.
Well, he makes it look easy, Nick, but as you know, all those little shots take concentration. If you just slip up for a moment, you can get out of line on any of those shots, and all of a sudden the rack becomes tough. I know you've seen that happen. You know, you got an ABC run out like that, and you get careless on one shot, you get out of line. You make the ball, you make the object ball, but now you're working real hard. And Jimmy...
What's one thing making a tough shot when all you got to do is pocket it and the shape's automatic. It's another making it and have to do something with the cue ball. Now let's see. He had a good break last time. I think he made 2 balls and he got that good spread after, except for the 1 and 2 were tricky. And he got the 1 in the side, and
the 2's up there. The two will go past the 8 in the lower left corner. The problem he's got is the 9's right there. He's going to run into the 9. I'm not sure. Yeah, he's almost got to hit the 9 with a cue ball. And with the 3 at the top of the table, it's going to be real hard to get on the 3 ball.
He may have to spin that out of their 2 rails, Jay, and play that 3 in the right pocket if it does go by the 8. From this angle, I can't tell. Now, he's using high, so I don't know how he's going to get there with high English.
Come off the side of the 9, but I don't like that too much.
No. Unless he thinks he can hit it hard enough to clear the 9. The speed might take him where he clears the 9, but to do that, you could lose control of the cue ball and go too far.
Again, this is one of those situations with the way the balls are spread. This is the key to the rack right here, getting from the 2 to the 3. You know, I don't think the 2 is, I don't think he's got a full pocket there, that lower left corner. Makes the shot even a little bit tougher.
I think you're right. I think that 8's interfering with the pocket, I think, is the worst part of all. Because I think he'd be happy to trade for a full pocket and draw that thing 2 rails.
Well, that's what he wants to do. He wants to shoot the 2 past the 8 ball in the lower left corner and then draw 2 rails out of the lower right corner. He's got to duck the 9. This is
the whole game, this shot.
Yeah. Tough shot here. Boy, he hit that good.
Man.
Whoa.
Oh,
was that sweet?
That was a great shot.
Man.
He had control of that cue ball, too. Now, where's he going to play the 4 here?
I think he's going to roll forward and go around the 4 and shoot the 4 in the upper left corner. That's it's natural, you know, natural running English.
I don't think he has enough angle to play it in the same pocket, come up 1 rail.
Oh, he tried a 2 rail out of the corner. He didn't do it, but he's okay. He wanted to go around the 4 and shoot the 4 in the same corner.
Yeah, he wanted to miss that 4 and play it in the same hole. But I think he fell where all he's got to do is draw back a little and he have a good angle on the 5 to get to the 6.
Shoot it in the side. The 4 goes in the side. He draws back on the 5.
But this is one of those outs, if he falls on the wrong angle in the 6, it can get tough in a hurry. Because it looks like to me he needs to go 3 rails on that 7 to get on the 8. He might go that 2 rail shot that we saw him play earlier, but I would be trying to play for the 3-rail shot on that 7. So he can't fall straight in on the 6. He definitely needs some angle. And he's trying to, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, he got a good angle.
That's just, you can't lay it with your hand much better than that.
Now, where's he wanted the cue ball to be for the 7 ball?
Well, if there was a spot on that end of the table, I'd say that's pretty close, although he might be a little closer to us. And he'd like, naturally, the closer he gets to the 7, the easier it is. But I like getting a little thinner angle where I don't have to shoot so hard. And I like to cut down the distance between the 6 and the where the 6 is at. And
you're not worried about having to stretch?
No, I won't have to stretch on this unless you go too far.
Okay.
Unless you get too close to straight in, I can reach this from anywhere on this side of the table. The other side, I had to be a little more careful. I might have to play a little thinner sometimes, so I can reach it. But this side, I can reach it from almost anywhere until it gets into that area where you might have to pull it straight back. Now, actually,
so he's going
this is nice because he doesn't want to go too deep with this. He wants more center ball than spin on this. I mean, he has to have a little left, but he doesn't want to get snooker himself on this. You know.
Yeah.
So he didn't use as much English on that as
he hit pretty much just high center.
Now, if he'd been playing for the 9, then he would have had to load it up a lot more.
Once again, Jimmy works through a difficult rack with seeming ease.
Well, he came with a good shot right off the reel. He speed control, and he got that 2 ball by the 8. And that was exactly, this was really tougher than the last rack, in my opinion.
Yep. That 2 ball was the key to the rack.
And Jimmy pulls to 3-game lead. He's leading 8-5, and you know, I've noticed a lot during this tournament. I watched him, I was playing on a table next to him yesterday when he was playing in the winner's bracket with Michael Coltrane, and I looked up, I think his score was like 2-2, 3-3, and the next thing I looked up and Jimmy pulled to an 8-3 lead. I mean, he just moved right ahead in a hurry, and
yeah, it's not like Mika's making any kind of mistakes here.
No, he's
Jimmy's taking
both
charge.
Missed that 9 once, and that's been about the extent. He's just he's punishing him with this break. He's getting a shot.
This is going to be a good break, too. Well, he stayed a little close to the 1 ball there. I don't know what he can do with the 1 here. I don't think he can make it.
Well, what I'd try to do is put him against that 8, and I'd try to cut off all this right rail. I wouldn't care where the 1 went. I would try to keep him from shooting straight across to kick it to 1. I'd try to make him have to go to that end rail no matter where the 1 gets. That's tough action. See if he cut. Oh, man, look at this. See how tough this is going to be to hit?
Yeah.
The key there was getting it inside the 8 where he can't just go straight across to kick it to 1 rather than getting it deep.
There's no side rail kick here. He's got to go to the end rail to kick at this ball. And a ball out here in the middle of the table like this, like the 1 is even harder to hit. If the 1 would have come down to a rail or something like that, at least he'd have some way to go.
Well, he's only got a couple ways he can think about. He can go 1 rail, or he can try to go 2 rails if that pathway's open. But looks like to me that 3 could be in the way of the 2 rail kick. Maybe not from this angle. I just can't tell. But he's going to have to come up with a good hit here to get away this game. He's definitely, I don't like the position he's in at all.
He's looking at a 2 rail, and with 2 rail, he's got to go between the 3 and the 6. And I'm not sure if it fits. He'd have to adjust the angle somehow with his English on the cue ball. I don't think 1 rail is an option. Yeah, he's looking.
Yeah, he's looking at the 2 railer. And I'd say he has to hit somewhere between those two diamonds. He might be able to aim at the 5th diamond, but I think that's too short. I think he has to go about that. Well, if you know the diamond system, that would be, he has to go around number 6, I think.
And I don't even think it's center ball on the cue ball. I think he's got to use a little
natural, but I don't think he has to use the low stuff.
Ooh, he almost hit it. He almost hit it. He's going to hit the ball, I think, but it's not going to get a rail, obviously. Gave up ball in hand.
Now, do you play the 2-9 here?
Well, Jimmy looked at that first just now, but the way these balls are sitting, it's pretty hard to pass the run out here.
Yeah, the only ball that could cause you any problems is either the 4, or if you fell funny on the 8.
Well, look at this. I think he's going. I think he is. Unless he's coming across the table, I think he's going to play the combination. Yeah, sure he is.
I don't think so. I think he would have tried to get closer to the 2 if he's playing the combination. He's too far from the 2 to play the 9. He would have tried to get at least a foot closer to the 2 ball.
Right.
I think he'll swing out of their 2 rails maybe. Because it brings him right into the angle now. I'm not sure he fell real good on this ball. He's either going to have to whack it off the rail to play it in the side. I don't think he can just go forward a little. I think he'll still be too thin on the 4, and he may even have to follow forward out of that corner, Jay, 2 rails.
He didn't hesitate much. He didn't hesitate much on this, so I think he's coming off the side rail. Going to hit a medium stroke, yeah. And shoot the side. Yeah.
He had more angle than I thought, but he could have fallen funny here now. If he strayed in, he wants to get up where he doesn't have to come down table. He'd like to swing around 3 rails and fall on the same rail or draw straight back. And if he's got a little angle, I think he's maybe any place but straight. And no, he got straight. He's going to have to go 2 rails out of there, and then he's going to have to hit good speed, good angle on this 6. He fell where he can't go forward because he's going in the hole.
Well, I think he's just going to draw the cue ball off the end rail and back up for the 8.
You think he's going to draw to the left of the 9 or go out of this corner?
No, I think he's going to draw to the left of 9. I don't think he needs to go 2 rails out of the corner.
I would try to get up close to the side here and almost straight in. I would try to I would want to be either straight in or a little on this side, but not a whole lot on that side.
Well, he drew.
He had to go on that side of it.
He did it real well.
I tell you what, he's going to have to come above the side on this. He's going to draw this above the side and come across and play the 9 in the lower right corner pocket. And he's stretching a little.
Wow.
No, he's going 3 rails. Oh boy, that see, for a right-hander, he got in a funny spot. You're right. That's why he was trying to get it to stop, because he seen it was going in the wrong position. I tell you what, because of the reach, this is not an easy shot. If he could reach this, if he was like about 4 or 5 inches, he'd be better off 5 inches further.
Right.
He could just draw 2 rails and probably not have any trouble. But he's even looking. Is that the 3 rail shot so he can shoot easier? Or?
I think he's looking to draw. He's thinking about drawing to shoot short rail it. Where bring it all the way back.
Well, if he does that, he's really in a tough spot. He really is in a tough spot if he takes that tough a shot on the 9.
No, he's going 3 rails. He's got to be going 3 rails here.
Or going straight across.
Oh, yeah, back and forth straight across. You're right. I didn't really see that shot. He just opted to give himself a long shot.
Is because he didn't want to put that spin on it. He wanted, what was more important to him was pocketing the 8, and that's why he stayed high on this ball, is because he did not want to miss the 8, and he feels comfortable with this shot. And I'd have to say that I'd bet that he makes this 9 here. He fell so nice on it for the angle.
Yeah. Good mental processes there, I think.
Okay, we're going to, the score is Jimmy Rempe 9, Mika Immonen 5, and we're going to change the tape, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. The score is Jimmy Rempe 9, Mika Immonen 5, and Jimmy Rempe has really come alive. He was behind 5-4, and he's pulled to a 4-game lead. He's won 5 straight games and took charge of this match. And in fact, that break there's the first opportunity.
Came up empty there.
Mika's had since they had the one game where they both missed a 9.
You know, that last game, it really showed me where experience counts so much. A lot of players would have tried to do something different there, try to go 3 rails or something like that, and maybe got themselves in trouble. Jimmy made sure he had a shot at the 9 ball.
Well, his speed was so good that he actually took a situation where the 9 actually turned out not to be that bad a shot. But the reason it didn't is because his control of the cue ball was so well. He got the maximum out of it. He got it as close to that rail as you could. He got it about as high as he could without taking a risk of scratching. I mean, he just got the maximum shot on the 9 that he could get the way he went, and he just executed it perfect.
Well, we haven't seen Mika at the table in a while. He absolutely has to win this game. He really needs to put a couple games together to get back in this match.
Well, the key is to win this game, and he has to.
He's done everything that he really needs to do to handle this rack now.
I mean, even though the balls look easy, he's got to come all up table for the 6, from the 6 to the 7, and then he's got to have that angle to get back down table. Sometimes you get trapped where you can't get from one end to the next. Anytime you got to go up and down, there's a danger of you getting the wrong angle.
Right.
I'd come all the way, maybe up here for the side.
Well, he got good on the 6, but I don't like where he went on the 7. He didn't go as far as he wanted to go.
Well, he might be able to still get there, Jay, by cutting it in this lower left corner. Oh, my goodness. He's
going to try and draw this ball.
I thought he could do that the other way. I thought he could maybe cut it in this lower left pocket and draw above the side, because all he has to do is get above the side. He needs that angle on the 8 anyway. But, boy, if he has to cut this in this other pocket, wow.
See, some players, I think they prefer to go one way or the other, and I think he prefers to go to his left, which would mean shooting the 7 in the lower right corner.
Oh, he may even have to go around 3 rails, Jay.
Hit it awful good.
Straight in. He does not want straight in here. I think he's
got a little
angle. I think he's just going to have to smack this one. He's going to have to go ahead and pound on it, I think. But I think he's got enough angle to get a decent shot on the 9 if he's really kind of...
He'll go to the rail, come across the table, look out for the side pocket.
Ooh, side pocket.
Oof.
Wow.
Just did clear it.
Wow.
See Mika jump up there. He saw it was coming towards the side pocket.
Yeah, he almost thought he'd lost it.
This Mika's not done yet.
Okay. Mika wins his game 6, and Rempe has 9. Scores 9-6, and Mika's got to break, and it's he's got to be happy to win a game. Rempe really hurt him that last time at the table.
Well, to me, this is the difference in Mika today and Mika 2 years ago. 2 years ago, if he got down in a match and a guy's playing real strong on him, I saw him go out quietly, if you know what I mean. He's not Mika anymore. He's fighting back. Jimmy's going to have to win every game. Mika's not going to give him the match.
Well, if he breaks and runs another rack, then that keeps some pressure on Jimmy, you know.
He's got confidence now. Mika has confidence in his own game. He feels like he's always in the match. I can remember before where he used to kind of start hanging his head when he got down to a good player.
Okay, now he made that corner ball, and if the 1 clears...
I think it just does. The 2 ball just rolled far enough for the 1 to clear. He can shoot the 1, stop the cue ball right there for the 2.
Yeah, it looks like the real key here. Well, it looks like he has to be a little cautious to get good position on the 4 off the 2. And then the 5 to the 6, so he can get up table on the 7.
So this is really the key shot right here, getting from the 2 to the 4.
Well, this is one of them, but I feel like he has to play real good position on the 6. I don't think he can just fall any place. It's just not automatic, you know, because that 8's blocking that upper pocket. You don't have that option, and then if you can't run into the 8 under no conditions for position.
Right, you almost have to shoot the 6. He's going to end up shooting the 6 in one of the side pockets, probably the side pocket that right underneath him right now, the right side pocket.
Yeah, he fell so straight on it that he had, well, there wasn't much place else he could fall anyway on the 4. You know what I mean? I mean, he was pretty well stuck with this angle. You know, a little bit longer than maybe he would have liked. But now, that makes this position from this rail a lot tougher than if he could have somehow got on this end rail. He could have played it in the side and went right between right by the 8 up. Now,
I think he's just going to slow roll it. Just slow. Oh, he did have room. He did have room.
Oh, that was perfect.
Yeah.
That was a nice shot. He took what could have been a tough situation, and he played a really great shot on the 6 position-wise.
He'll bounce out. He's got lots of room here. He's got enough angle where he can come back down for the 8 without too much trouble. Yeah, he's fine. See, he handled that rack real well. And it was, like you said, it was a little bit of a tricky rack.
Yeah, it wasn't where you couldn't get out of line. That wasn't foolproof, that rack. He made a nice out. He deserves to win this game. He didn't get just... it wasn't like picking cherries off a tree, I'll tell you that right now. He made a nice run out.
He got the 2 racks he needed to get back in the match. He trails 7 games to 9, and he's breaking.
Yeah, and he made that, I think, both corner balls that time, or one of them anyway. Well, at least he made the one on the side he's trying to break, and got great position on the 1 last time.
Notice we were sitting there sweating the match the other day, and the balls, guy broke, Medina broke in 3 balls. I don't know, maybe it was a match against you, I'm not sure. But somebody, one of the old time, I think it was Beanie, said it's a Cosmo. And one of the kids says, what's a Cosmo? Now, you're old enough to remember. Do you remember Cosmo?
Yeah.
Wasn't he a character?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he used to set up that shot where he played all the balls without hitting the rail.
Yeah, they were all stop shots. He set up the whole rack, and they say, hey, watch me run these balls. And it was just one stop shot after another. And hence, from then on, players, they said if the rack was real easy and a player didn't have to do anything, they say it's a Cosmo. He was one of the most unforgettable characters I ever met in a pool room.
Okay, Mika Immonen, he's trailing 7-9. He's got the break, and he's run 2 racks in a row, and he's pulled himself back in this match. And boy, he's coming so close to that side. He's missed it like an inch. The last break he hit almost identical spot. That's dangerously close there, Jay. That's cutting it kind of thin. Yeah,
he's playing with fire there. Now he made a ball, but he's got no shot on the 1. The 1 is tied up against the 2 there.
I tell you what I like here. This is a little wild, but I would... Well, he's going to do something different. He's going to try to get down below the 6 and maybe get him with the 6. But you know what I like here? I like hitting the 1 and trying to come straight up toward the 9 and make the 9, because I think the 1 will have enough energy to maybe get back to the middle of the table, because if he misses here, he's going to lose the game if he don't hook him.
Yeah, what you're saying, you're saying you got a free shot at the 9 ball there. If you choose to take it.
Well, look like it could be, but I'll have to admit he hit that so well that I kind of like this. But he can lose the game here. I think if I was Jimmy here, I'd kick toward the short rail and try to hit the second rail, knock that 1 right toward this corner where the 9's at.
Seems a little dangerous to me, because boy, if you don't make the 9.
Well, I'm not going to shoot it easy if I'm going to try to warp it. Well, what else you going to do? The 7's really got you in a bad spot here.
Right. I hear you. I hear you.
I mean, you only.
He made a good safety.
And plus, you don't even have to hit it going this other way.
Jimmy's
for
the bridge.
Yeah, well, that's the bad thing. That means he can't quite get the speed I'd like on this, because I'd like to really hit this one hard. Because, you know, if he hits that second rail and hits that one pretty full, it's going to be tracking right toward where he needs to be going.
I'm not so sure he sees his shot as well as you do, although he's looking at it right now.
Yeah, looks like to me that's what he's looking at.
Well, if he gets it going that way fast, good things can happen. You can make the 9, you can make the 1. You can even hook him.
I would shoot this maybe left-handed. If I could reach it, because I can get so much power left-handed than I can with this bridge. See, the biggest negative about the shot now is because of the speed with this bridge. He's trying to hit it hard, and he made it. What a shot. Did I call that one, Jay?
Man.
And that puts Jimmy on the hill.
I think you got ESPN. He picked up on it.
Man, I seen that coming when it crossed center court there.
Yeah, you can see it was heading right that way.
I knew when it got to that spot that baby was in. What a shot. How about that one? We ought to see that. I'd like to see that one again, huh?
That's remarkable. Not only that he made it, but you called the shot before he shot it. You said, this is the shot to shoot. Man, that's pretty strong right there. See, you guys, you've been playing 25 years. You think along the same lines. You think the same way.
Well, a lot of times you get what you think you're going to get, so you better think something good.
Well, a lot of people see that and they think it's lucky, but it's not really. He had definitely a design and a plan.
There's Tang Ho. He's getting ready to play Buddy Hall next round in the finals of the winner's bracket of the U.S. Open. He's guaranteed for first, second, or third place. How's he like it?
We like it just fine. I'm the sponsor.
He's got to be happy and excited, and he probably can't wait to play.
He was so excited last night. We went out to breakfast. We went back to the room. We were talking everything. And finally, I said to him, I said, Tang, you're playing for the hot seat in the U.S. Open. He said, oh, my God, Jay. He said, I didn't realize that. He said, all I knew is I was playing Buddy tomorrow. You know, it finally dawned on him like 2 hours later. He's playing for the hot seat in the U.S. Open. But he's ready. He's ready. He's a pretty confident kid, I'll tell you. Well, Jimmy's going to play safe here. He's got a whole bunch of balls there that he can put the cue ball behind. And you know what? He didn't do it. He didn't hit that ball good at all. That's
probably the worst ball, except for the 9 he missed that he's hit the entire match.
He had all those balls he could hide behind, the 5, 8, 4, 7.
I'd had to bet there that Mika would have been snookered when he got finished.
He had a momentary lapse in concentration.
See if he comes with this one.
Boy, he hit that good
right
slow
in the
roll.
center.
That's pretty strong. That's pretty strong.
Yeah,
I'm impressed with that.
You down 7-10. That's a hard shot. He really came with a great shot then.
Draw 2 rails out of here. Come back up for the 4. He can pretty much just stop right there, shoot the 5 in the side.
Well, as long as he stays full on everything here, Jay, about the only real dangerous point I see here is if he would not get a little angle on the 6. I mean, it looks pretty easy from here. Of course, he got
the angle. He got the angle he wants.
And he don't want too much angle on the 7. He wants to be a little fuller on the 7.
Well, Jimmy had a momentary lapse of concentration there because he had a very easy safety. And sometimes those are the shots where you mess up on.
Well, I think he might be in that anticipation of winning mode there.
Yeah. But he hasn't won yet, and he's got a dangerous opponent who's not that far behind.
Especially the way this table's been breaking. And Mika's been playing good. He hasn't showed much weakness in this match. And there it is, Jimmy Rempe 10, and Mika wins his game number 8. He's only 2 games behind. He's got to break So it's not over yet, Jay.
Not by any means.
And the last 2 times he's broke, I think, or 3, he's made that corner ball, and he's come dangerously close to that side, but he's been getting pretty good position on the 1. The last time the 1 was tied up, the game where Jimmy kicked the 1 into the 9.
I don't want to think any kind of negative thoughts for Jimmy, but this guy is a good enough player. He's breaking good enough that Jimmy could not get out of his chair. He could run 3 racks and out. That's not beyond any stretch of the imagination.
No, it can happen. All he has to do is break 3 times and get position on the next ball.
Well, he made a ball there. He's got a shot at the 1 in the side. It's a little bit of an awkward angle because he looks like he's got to run into the 7.
He really needs to play this maybe in the corner. I don't know if it goes. I don't know if that's an option, but it looks like position.
Well, that's what he looked at.
How does he avoid the 7 for position by cutting it into the side? So
you're right. He's going for the corner.
He's going 3 rails too. I don't think he can just bounce off for shape. He's going to go around it and end up where about he is now.
He didn't hesitate a moment there. He did not hesitate a moment there. Well, he didn't want to run into the 2. And now he gave himself a tough shot on the 2. If he'd got around the 2, he could have shot the 2 in the upper right corner, and he would have been fine, actually.
You know, this might be a case where safety play is not out of the question. You've got a pretty good wall, this 7, 9, and 3 here. And he's coming around 2, well,
he's shooting the 2 in the side.
1 rail. He may be coming 1 rail.
He wants to shoot. He doesn't want to mess around with any safeties now.
Well, it looks like to me you cut the 3 in here, you hit it with high, you run into the 9, and that'll throw you over here to the right, and you fall pretty full on the 4, and just pocket the 3 here, it looks like to me.
Boom.
Oh, he made the 9.
All of a sudden it's 10 to 9.
A big bonus, and it's 9-10.
You think Jimmy's going to live to regret that safety?
Yeah, I think he momentarily lost his concentration a little bit there. I think that...
he's regretting it already.
Yeah, you can bet on that.
Boy, how easily a match can slip away. You know, Mika's hitting the balls with a lot of confidence, Nick. I don't know if you noticed that. He's not hesitating a bit. He's not playing like he's in the hole or anything. He's playing to win.
Well, some people in this position like to play a little faster so they don't have to think about...
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, here we go. Mika 9, Rempe 10, getting right down to the wire almost, and I tell you what.
Get the 9 going towards the pocket. He made a ball on the break.
The 1's hung up, and can he hit it? That is the question.
I don't think he can get between the 5 and the 8, and he's...
Okay, here we're taking a second look at Mika's billiard on the 9. Cut the 3 in the corner, and he got a big bonus and a shortcut to win game number 9.
He was just using the 9 to get shape on the next ball, and it just happened to go in.
That's one of those pleasant surprises you get sometime when you're at the table.
Well, the way he's rubbing his neck, I don't think he likes the shot at the 1.
Is he just got to go over the edge? I'm thinking maybe the jump shot's in play here, Jay.
Well, he's a little distance from the 1 at the 5 and the 8 to jump him. Yeah. To be so close to the 1 ball. I mean, with the 1 against the rail, he's got to get through there. He's got it.
He's trying. Boy, this is dangerous here. You can hit either ball here.
He got it. He got it.
Did he get far enough?
He's far enough. He's far enough. He can shoot the 3, just roll down the table, shoot the 4 in the side. He's all right. That was the shot. That was the shot.
No
He's
question.
very much alive in this match.
Very much alive.
The favorite?
I'd say you're the favorite when it's 9-10, and you're going to tie it up 10-10, it looks like, and you're at the table because the other guy don't have to come to the table. Well, you mentioned just a little while ago that it's not impossible for him to run out. We talked about that when...
But the adrenaline was pumping a little bit there, and he overhit that 3 ball. Nick, he went 6 inches or so farther than he wanted. He wanted to shoot the 4 in the side. Now he's got to cut it in the end.
And roll it.
Yeah.
And he's got to get a good angle because the 6 is up here. Now this is
This guy's not missing anything. Notice that? He's hitting everything in the heart of the pocket right now.
well, he's got a blood test right here. That 6 is not laying exactly where you can just fall any place on the table.
He's drawing the ball here. I would have thought he'd go 2 rails.
Boy, he's really got to hit this low.
Man, look at the shot he put down here.
That's nice.
Whoa.
That's a nice touch.
Whoa.
Nice position.
This guy's feeling it. He's feeling it. He feels like he can do anything. You know he's playing good. He feels like he can do anything he can see. He can accomplish it.
Well, he started out this rack with a shot he couldn't see, if you remember.
Anything you can see or not see, he can do it. He's going to draw straight back down the table and tie this match up at Hill.
Well, I think we're going to see a 10-10. I know my friend Pat from Accu-Stats loves it.
Takahashi just won his match with Kiamko.
Takahashi won. And there it is. Hill. 10 for Mika, 10 for Jimmy. And Jimmy's problem is he's not the one at the table. Mika's just put 3 racks on him.
Boy, he's going to have nightmares about that safety.
Played a bad safety, and Mika's run 3 racks from there. And Jimmy's got to be hoping to just get back to the table. He's just got to hope that he gets a chance to get back.
Well, now 2 matches in a row here today on this television table are been Hill.
Oh, this has been a phenomenal match. It's been just error-free, and both players have just played dynamite. And the fans love it here at the U.S. Open. Well, what is it? They like to see the pain. They like to see the struggle. They like to see the suffering.
You know, there's not anything more exciting in sports than a Hill match in pool. I'll tell you, I don't care what sport it is. It could be a sudden death in a tennis match. There's nothing more. Everybody's on the edge of their seat right now. Well, he didn't make any. He almost played like a little safe break there.
Yeah, I think he cut that way too much. He really went. He wasn't going to scratch on that one, was he? At least not upstairs.
Let's see. I'll bet Jimmy's real careful on this safety. What do you think? He just crossed the 1 ball and send the run ball down table? But I don't like it. Cause
I'd go for the gusto here. I would not even worry about where the 1 goes. I would try to draw it over and have it stop around that corner pocket. All I would worry about is where the cue ball ends up, because the 1 figures to run into something and stay down here, but I would try to get the white ball behind that 8 and 2.
There you go. Okay. Hit this one a little better than the last safety. I don't know if it's... he got him.
I tell you what's important here is if
he can go to the side rail.
He can hit that side rail and hit the 1. This is I don't know if he can hit below the side, and I don't know if he hits above the side. He can probably hit the 1, but yeah, he probably can if he hits above.
Got to spin
what he's
it.
Looking at
yeah,
now.
Use a lot of right English and spin down into the 1.
We're going to have some real play this rack, because look at the 3.
Yeah.
This is not going to be, I think, unless they get a combination on the 9, this is not going to be a short game, I don't think.
And the 9's tied up, can't go in the corner pocket. The 6 is in the way. The 3's tied up against the 7. Boy, he's got a masse this ball.
He's got a masse around. I see Scott Smith coming over to watch this shot to be sure he doesn't hit the 8, and he give him ball in hand. And now what, Jay? What does Mr. Rempe do?
Well, the 3 is the problem. I think he's got to shoot the 1 and come over and knock the 7 out of the way. And where the 2 is, he can make the 2's open for that upper left corner pocket. He's got to clear the 3 right now.
Where are you going to play the 1?
I think he's going to play the 1 on the side.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you got to try to either move, hit. Well, I would try to hit the 7 pretty full so that I don't come. Well, I'd like to get back out to the center of the table maybe, but could he even put a little low left on that, go into the 7 and spin back up to make the 2 a pretty easy shot? the worst thing that could happen if he died on the rail there. But that's what I would do. You called it what you said about breaking the 7. Well, one option is to put him in the middle of them, but I'd have to go for the win here now.
Well, this is interesting. Maybe he can
that
get.
Might be.
Can he get between the 3 and the 7 and cut the 3 in the end? Maybe he doesn't need to break him out.
Well, if he can do that, I'm not aware of it. But boy, if he shoots this straight in, he's either going to break him off the 2.
That doesn't
I like
make
breaking
sense.
him off the 1. I think this may be too conservative here.
He must be able to cut the 3 ball in. The 7 must not have him totally blocked. Again,
I don't think so, but maybe you're right. It just looks too close, but maybe he can get in there, Jay.
He's sure playing it that way.
Yeah, I can't imagine him trying to. I don't know what he's
got dead straight on the 2.
That's not too good. He didn't want straight. So he's not trying to break it out. Maybe you're right. You might have called it. It must go.
Yeah, he's looking at it. And he's got that 6 for a sideboard, too.
Another ½ inch over would be ideal for what he wants to do. I guess you called it. I guess that 3 goes. But boy, he can't get far from this rail here, can he? He's got no way to get much further than a half diamond, does he?
He's just going to draw straight back down to about right in between the side pockets.
He might be able to get a diamond off, but he's going to have to come. Of course, he's got a big sideboard with that 6 now.
See, there he is, right between the pockets.
See, he's got a big sideboard with the 6, but what he has to worry about is that is going to affect the shot on the 4 if he hits it.
Yeah.
And it may affect it anyway because the 6 may be blocking the shot, and nobody wants to play a combination at this stage of the game because of the position.
Well, I don't think he has to worry about position or anything. Just make the 3 here. Just make the 3. Make sure you make the 3. Let the cue ball just run across the table. Boy, you hit it pretty firm. Uh-oh, this could be bad. Boy, he got lucky. He got lucky there. He knew. You see him shrug his shoulders after he hit that? He thought he was going to end up tied up right against the 4. He can shoot the 4 into the 6. He can shoot the 4 into the 6.
Yeah, but where you play the 4, I mean, you got to hit it thin. It ain't going to die there, I don't think.
You don't think so?
He's got to hit that. No, he cannot stop the 4 where he can play it in the same pocket, I don't think.
Well, you're right. He's taking his time. I thought it looked like he could hit into the 6 and the 4 would stop there. You're right. That 6 is right on the rail. He's got to be careful. He doesn't want that 4 to bounce up a little bit.
I would actually look. Well, see, he's got another problem because if he cuts it by the 6, he's dying right on top of this 9. Who knows
I don't
where
think
he would go.
He can't pass the 6. That 6 is too high. No, I don't think so at all.
It's got him, huh?
I think he's got to shoot the 4 into the 6.
Well, then I think he's got to try to. It's liable to run into that 7, and I don't think that's good. If it clears the 7, he might get a shot in that corner or the side over there. But if he hits it just a hair thick, it could go right against the 7 and end up in a funny position.
I think what he wants to do is hit it soft enough so the 4 doesn't bounce too far, and he can shoot the 4 in the same pocket as the 6. That 6 doesn't.
You think so?
I don't think that 6 has to go very far.
No, but I'm just looking. If it's froze on the end rail and it's not inside the pocket, it's like a froze ball almost, where he's got to hit it pretty thin. He can't hit it full. But you may be right.
No, you're right. He hit it hard enough to go up there. Boy.
If this goes in the side, but I'm not sure. This is going to be. He's going to have to play this ball in the corner, I think, and bounce off for the 5. I don't think he can go in the side. It's too tough. But he's got a good angle, Jay.
Let's see if we can see this here.
He's got a good angle for position by playing it in the corner. You don't have to shoot it hard. He can just roll it. And if he gets a good angle on the 5, he should win this match if he makes this ball. Got it a little bit thick.
Yeah.
He went a little. He's going to have to pound the 5 a little bit, but you'd rather pound it than soft roll it anyway at this well, at any stage of the match.
That was a tricky little shot, that 4-6. You saw it better than I did.
He controlled that 4 really well.
Yeah.
To get that good a shot. He could have ended up with a lot worse shot than.
Boy, he did pound that ball.
Overamped that. In fact, I think he's actually hit it too good because.
He's dead straight on the 7.
He's got to draw this and hope. He's got to draw back to where he's at. Anything less, and I think he's going to be so full on that 8 that if he happens to stay close to the rail, you got to gamble on drawing it 3 or 4 feet, I think, so that if he can get off as far as he is now where the 8's at, he's got a hanger or a pretty easy shot. But no, he may be. Yeah, he. You got to be sure you don't cheat.
Got to try and stay off the rail a little bit. Man, I don't know.
Wow,
this ain't no bargain.
He's got to jack up, and he's got to.
Oh my God!
Boy, this.
I like your idea. I think he should have drawn back like another 2 feet.
Or at least tried to draw it above. The key there was you had to at least get above the side. If he'd taken this.
Why did he opt for this shot, though? I don't. Maybe he thought he'd get off the rail. Yeah, he wanted to be further off the rail where he could draw the ball. This is
another inch off the rail. This looks a little different, but still, this is pretty full, isn't it? I'm surprised he didn't try to at least get to the side on this. And maybe he was. Maybe he just got the cue ball higher than he wanted.
We may see him do what he did before. Just cinch this ball a little bit. Just bring the cue ball back a little bit and give himself a long shot, because if the 9's frozen, he can make that 9. I don't think he wants to do too much here. If you try to do too much here, any bad things can happen. You can pop the 8 right out of the hole.
Well, that would be really hard luck if this goes in the center and comes out. But at this speed, this is not going to be a soft hit here. And the worst thing that can happen is overcut the 8 here and not draw it.
It's going to come out.
He needs a good row here.
Come funny, didn't it? Came funny, didn't it? What an amazing game this is. What an amazing game this is. We need Scott Smith.
He didn't draw it far enough.
They need Scott down here to watch this shot.
Well, there's only one shot here.
See, remember what he did the game before with that 9 ball? I think he should have done it right there. Just cinched it so he made sure he had a shot at the 9. Because with a 9 on the rail there, you can move that ball in pretty easily.
Well, see,
going down
he had a hard shot. See, it was a little different than the last one. The last one, that corner pocket, he's going right toward it.
Yeah, he's all right. Maybe the 9 wasn't frozen. You know what I'm talking about?
Here it is. Right now, Mika Immonen, it's up to him. Rempe's left him a long shot on the 9, and for my money, you got to play the bank.
Well, now see, here's something that hasn't come up yet, but I don't know if you've noticed, the European players I've observed, they're not fond of banking balls. They look to do other things besides bank balls, and this is a hard bank shot. Now, for the American players like you'll get up and bank this ball, and you're like better than even money to make it.
Why, there's no way I'd pass on this, because if I make this bank, he don't get no more chances to do anything.
That's right.
And I'm in 4th place in the U.S. Open minimum.
See,
and it rests in my destiny, not what he does.
My observation is the European players don't bank as good as the Americans, but we'll see. He's definitely shooting at it. Oh, looked like it was going to hang up, and he made it. Looked like he hit it high.
Mika made the bank, and
he used the whole pocket.
I tell you what, that was a heartbreaker for Rempe.
Boy, Mika's all over the place. It didn't look like it was going, Nick. Didn't look to me like it was going.
I thought he was a little short with it.
Yeah.
I thought he was a little short, but...
you see how tentatively he hit it? He didn't hit it with a lot of authority.
Yeah.
That was quite a match. Quite a match. That was quite an interesting final game.
That was a heartbreaker for Jimmy there. Are we going to have the interview, Pat? Okay, we're going to try to get Mika Immonen up here. He just won a thriller, 11-10. over Jim Rempe. Came from behind. He was behind 10-7 and pulled it out at the wire with a long rail bank on the 9 that didn't look like it really had to go most of the way down. It looked like he might not have cut it enough, Jay.
The last 6 inches, it kind of turned into the top of the pocket and snuggled in. Even when it hit the pocket, it looked to me like it might hang up. Started to hang up, and then it just, you know, it must have been Mika's destiny to win that match. But what Jimmy can look back to and have nightmares about for the next week is the safety he played when he was ahead 10-8.
10-7.
10-7. 10-7. Here comes Mika.
Yeah, I think he was so happy to steal that game to get on the hill that he might have just relaxed for a minute.
Nice bank.
Congratulations, Mika. That was an exciting match.
Give me this mic.
It was a pretty good comeback. Wow.
Well, the key to the match, as we saw it up here, was when it was 10-7 and Jimmy had an easy safety. You know, he could have hooked you behind all those balls, and he played a bad safety.
Yeah, he lent me the one ball, and I kept my focus and made the long one and ran out and was in control of the game. Though I didn't break a ball in the last break, and he made a good save. But he wound up in a bad position after getting straight on the 7.
Yeah, we talked about that. We thought that maybe he should have tried to draw up above the side. So he's closer to it. Then he's got the option of maybe going 2 rails. He's got some angle on the 8. He got so full that it's hard to make that.
Yeah.
If you don't get the cue ball real low and real full, if you don't hit it real precise, you start coming this way.
And he was so far.
Yes.
And it's always difficult from a far distance.
From that distance with that shot, I thought, boy, if he hits it too hard, he might pop the 8 right out of the pocket, too.
Yeah.
My feeling was the best strategy for Jimmy there would have been to pop the 8 and did what he did earlier with the 9 ball, just played safe. Was the 9 frozen to the rail?
When Jimmy shot it?
Yeah.
No.
When he was shooting the 8. Was the 9 frozen to the rail?
No. It was just a hair off.
Oh, okay. So he did need to come down table a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it was a tough bank shot still, but I had no other.
We want to know, Mika, how you felt when that 9 ball went in, because to Jay and I, it looked like you might not have cut it enough. It was kind of favoring the outside of the pocket, and it seemed like Jay said the last 6 inches or something like it bent in just a hair.
And it still rattled a little bit in the pocket.
It looked like it might hang up.
But I was so relieved after I saw it drop.
Mika, you went jumping all around the room.
Yeah.
Well, we see
I felt a little boost.
We see him right here in his victory pose, and it's definitely went in from this pose, Mika.
Yeah.
Well,
I have to come down to earth now because there's some matches to go. So
Mika, I have to say that the difference in your game now, from what I observed a few years ago, you're much more solid and much more confident. Even when you were down in the match and had to run those racks to catch back up, you were playing with a lot of confidence. You were hitting balls with authority. You've become a very fine player. I mean, the feeling I got is you felt like you were still in the match.
Yeah, I had to hang in. Yeah. And that's how I felt, that when I'm on the table, I just keep control of myself and make the balls as they're supposed to make, and just do what you have to do.
You made some good runouts there.
Yeah.
Under pressure.
Yeah.
That one shot, remember the shot? You shot the 3 ball, you slow rolled the 3 ball down the rail there, down into the corner pocket. It was the beginning of a rack. I think it was when you were down 10-9, and it was the key. And you had to start by slow rolling a length of the table shot on the 3 ball to get to the next ball. I think it was the
1 ball.
Was it the 1 ball?
We made that long shot where he had to roll forward for the 3. That was when Jimmy didn't get you behind those balls when it was 10-7, and you made a real nice
on the 3.
You had to pace the 1 in and roll forward, and
that's what it was, the 1.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't have to make that 1 in those pressure kind of situation.
That might have been the key shot to my confidence too. I knew that if I make this, I'm out, but also that I made it. It felt great, and it made me feel very good.
You're playing good. You're pocketing all the balls real cleanly. I think you're in good position to go much farther in this tournament. I think you play Takahashi next.
Yeah.
Well, we like to congratulate you again, Mika. You played a great match, great come from behind win. You played real solid down the stretch, and we wish you good luck in the rest of the U.S. Open.
Thanks, Nick.
Great shoot.
Thanks, Jay.
Well, Jay, it's been a pleasure working with you, and
You too,
we certainly couldn't ask for a better match.
What a great match. What a great match. That was exciting. Well, I enjoy working with you, Nick. It's always a pleasure. You're not only a great player, you're a keen student of the game.
Well, we'd like to remind all the viewers that if you're interested in other Accu-Stats video, call 1-800-828-0397. And we just finished the match that's, I'm sure, going to be on everybody's recommended list.
That's
going to have a top rating. It was a well-played match, hardly any mistakes. And it'd be a great tape for anybody's library. And I'm sure that it'll be a must for all billiard fans. And we're here at the 1998 U.S. Open, and it looks like what's coming up in the tournament is we have the winner's side with Buddy Hall and Tang Ho, and on the loser's side, Mika Immonen will be playing Takahashi from Japan. So it should be really an interesting U.S. Open coming up. We should have some more great matches, and we'll see you soon. And for myself and Jay, we'll catch you at the next match.